Hello, welcome back. I am Coach Jessie, homeschool mom of 8 kids, pre and postnatal certified personal trainer, and I'm here to talk to you today about the fifth vital movement pattern that you need in your strength training routine. And today is all about rotation. So rotation is anything where we're working asymmetrically or we're rotating our bodies. Everything that we've gone over so far, think about the squat, think about the RDL, think about the row, think about the press. Everything has been isometric all throughout our core and symmetric movement on each side. Even if you're doing a single arm row, you're keeping everything square, you're keeping everything asymmetrically contracted. So here we're going to talk about how to fit rotation into your training routine. This is super important for mobility. It's super important for a lot of activities of daily life. A major thing, you guys. It's a really major thing. We'll go over some specific activities that you use in your day-to-day after I go over these moves with you. There are so many, there's more variety within this type of movement pattern, in my opinion, than any of the others. So I cannot show you all of the ones that I would love to show you, but I will show you 6 ways to incorporate rotation into your strength training routine. Starting with our warm-up, which is actually not one of the 6. But for our warm-up, for our rotation movement, we're just gonna do a little cross punch here. You can also do a forward punch because you're rotating your core here as well. So just pivoting that back foot as you turn and punch. So we're just getting a little bit of rotation through our hips, our core, our shoulders. Awesome. Another great rotation warm-up move or mobility move that I love, that's a part of a great dynamic warm-up, is a runner's lunge with a twist. So we're going to put one foot back, and then the foot that's in the front, rotate up towards that foot. Bring both hands back down, switch feet, and rotate towards the other foot. I love this dynamic stretch. It feels so good. Breathing throughout. It doesn't matter if you bring your foot to the outside of your hands or up between your hands. Just find whatever is comfortable for you. One more. And if you don't feel comfortable coming down to the floor, you can always do this move from a standing position as well. I hope I'm not getting too much interference on my mic because, hold on. I know that if it shakes around, it doesn't do so hot, but I know also if my hair touches it, it doesn't do so hot. So for rotation, I picked the wrong shirt. Okay, you can also do this from a standing position. So if your right leg goes back, you turn towards your left leg. So I'm just doing the same exact dynamic stretch from a standing position. I am making sure that my pelvis is tucked under, rotating with a contracted torso. So I'm not relaxed. I'm not letting my booty come up. I'm not letting my gut hang out. I'm keeping everything contracted. Even here, all of those form cues that we used earlier in the week also apply to this. Okay, so I'm warmed up now. I'm going to show you the first move, which is a farmer carry. Now, walking is a rotational move. And I would love to go over walking form for just a second, because when I say walking is a rotational move, I'm not meaning that you're walking. Oh, don't get me started on walking. Because women, especially those of us who had babies or even not, we've got a little turnout going. We've got a little bit of a weak core. We're used to sticking our booty out. And so when you walk like this, you're not contracting the appropriate muscles that you should be when you're walking. You swing your arms. That's your rotation right there, because you're working asymmetrically. So as we're walking, your feet are pointed forward, knees are tracking over the toes. You're contracting your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads, and you're walking with your hips pointing forward. So when I say walking is a rotational exercise, I don't mean that you're actually rotating. I'm meaning that you're doing an asymmetric movement because your arms and legs are not moving together, obviously, and you're working opposing muscles on each side as you walk. So this is why for the farmer carry, for our asymmetric movement, I am going to walk with a proper form, and I'm only going to lift up one weight in order to add to that asymmetric muscle contraction. So I'm walking, 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 set the weight down, I'm gonna turn around, grab the weight again. There's a lot of torsion happening right there. And I'm walking. So just doing a few steps. And if you have more room in your house, of course, you can walk further than that. But walking, generally, running, farmer carry, both arms or single arm are a great rotational exercise. Okay, second rotational exercise I want to go over with you guys is called a wood chop. I love a wood chop. I'm going to use a light weight. You could actually do this with no weight. I think it helps to hold something when you're doing your wood chop. But if you want to use 1 pound, 2 pound weight, or just something that's this size that you can hold, water bottle, whatever. My knees, my feet are wider than my hips. My knees are soft. And just think about, I'm going to chop some firewood. I'm going to swing around, chop down, swing around, chop down, swing around, chop down, swing around, chop down. There's a lot happening here with my form. One thing I want to make sure throughout is that you have soft knees. It should feel really natural as you pivot the opposite foot and swing up and around, come down with power, but slow down, right? Absorb the impact as you get to the bottom by softening your knees and resisting that gravity there. Swing around, chop, swing around, chop, swing around, chop. That is one of my favorite moves. You can see that rotational exercises sometimes lend themselves towards more of a cardio movement, but we're going to get to some more core strengthening in just a minute. The next move is a lunge X swing. That's just what I call it. I don't know if that's the technical term for it. I'm going to go all the way down to the ground. You can also do this from a standing lunge position, so don't feel like you have to go all the way to the ground if your knees are not comfortable. You can hold the weight however you want. You can hold it like this. You can hold it like this. If you have a weighted ball, you can hold a ball. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to swing I'm going to controlled swing from my right hip up to my left shoulder. My elbows are slightly bent. More power on the way up, slow and controlled on the way down. I'm still thinking about, let's switch sides. I'm still thinking about the pelvic tuck, core isolation, squeezing the glutes, and nice and slow. And for this, you do want to lift heavier. So no matter what weight you're using, you want to do a number of reps such that you have 1 or 2 reps in reserve. So let's say I use this 12-pound dumbbell. I can do about 10 of these before I feel so fatigued that I'm losing form. Drop the weight, stop, take a breath, give myself about a 60-second to 2-minute break, and then do another set. Or take a break and do a different move that works different muscle groups, and then come back and do another set. Do as many as 4 sets. If I wanted to lift heavier, let's say like a 20-pound weight, and I could only get in 5 reps, then I would do those 5 reps, take a break, come back and do 5 more reps. Okay, our next move is our dumbbell V swing. I'm going to use a kettlebell for this one. This will be fun. So standing position, and you can get into a bit of a swing here. This is kind of heavy for this. I'm actually going to go a little lighter, and then I'll show you with a swing. I'm going to use my 12 again. Okay, so it's an inverted V. Okay, so I'm holding the weight. It's going to one side. I'm just lifting up to the middle and down to the other side. And I'm allowing my torso to twist as I do this, but my feet are staying in the same position pointing forward. I'm only going up to about shoulder height. My glutes are contracted. My knees are soft. My back is flat against that board as it turns even. Keeping my pelvic tucked, keeping my core contracted. Again, do as many reps as you can with 1 rep in reserve. If you get over 15 reps, you're not going heavy enough. Lift heavier, please. And we want to just make sure that we can control that weight and not have it be pulling us down, okay? If you have a heavier weight, I should have tried this before I recorded. I didn't. If you have a heavier weight and you want to do a bit of a swing, if you're ready for it, if your core is ready for it, if you feel safe, practice with a light weight. You can swing and get a little bit more of a power movement. Again, just making sure that it is a weight that you can control. And then slow down. That's really fun. Okay, so both of those. Inverted V swing. Okay, two more. I happen to have a band. If you don't have a band, you can hold a weight and do this exercise. A band just takes it up a notch. I showed you my track that I have on the wall here. So my band is just looped around at about chest height. If you have a band, you can loop it around any pole or fence post or tree or anything that you have. So like if you're at the park and you bring it, loop it around the playground, use it. Okay, so I'm standing, I'll face you. So I'm standing with my knees slightly bent, my elbow slightly bent, but the band's pretty far away from me. You can see, like that. My glutes are tight, my pelvis is tucked under, my core is engaged, and I'm just turning and resisting. Powerful turn, slow resist. 1, 2, hold 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can bring that count into this move as well. Exhale, inhale. How fun is that? Okay, that feels so good. I really feel it working my rotation and my core. You can also do that same thing with a weight. I recommend that you go to one side, stop in the middle, and then do the other side. You just don't get quite as much resistance laterally as you do with the band. That's why the band is really, really cool. Okay, last move is windmills. Again, there are so many moves that you can do for rotation. I'm trying to get you a little bit of a taste of all the different kinds of things that you can do. I'm going to lay down on the ground for this. All right. I'm on the ground. My knees are up at a 90-degree angle. My arms are out to my sides, bracing me. I'm first going to start with making sure that my pelvis is tucked. My back is pressed flat against the ground. My shoulders, my neck, my head, everything is pressed flat against the ground. And I'm just going to slowly allow my knees to drop to a 45-degree angle. Bring them back up to the middle. And then go to the other side. And if you can't get to a 45-degree angle, and you can only get slightly to one side and slightly to the other side, that's fine. Just do the same counts. Do the 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, back to the middle. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, back to the middle. Inhale, exhale. And as you exhale, think about you're wringing out your core, bringing that low back down to the flat pressurized position against the floor. And this is a great move for rotation. I want to stay here all day, but I'm not going to. All right. The only way you could elevate that move, make it harder, you could straighten your legs out. You could add ankle weights to your legs. So there's always somewhere that you can go with these moves. This is just a small sampling of rotational exercises that you can incorporate into your strength training routine. Think about rotation, grabbing the seat belt to buckle up, turning around in the car, handing your toddler a snack, wiping your bum. Sorry, I'm going to say it, wiping your bum. There are so many times that we have to turn and rotate, looking over our shoulder when we're driving to see it in our blind spot. And if you do not work this movement, improve your mobility, improve your strength in this area, you're going to suffer in the long term. Again, we're all about longevity and living the fullest life possible in the years that we have on this earth. And working rotation is one of the ways that you can do that. All right, I hope you found this helpful. Please share with me in the comments or in the Facebook group if you did, or if you have any questions. See you next time.